Hey Aquarius, happy birthday. Those of you starting off Aquarius season with the early Aquarius birthdays. We're going to connect here and see what messages are coming in for January 17th through the 23rd. You might stumble upon this video outside of that time frame. That's totally fine. You're going to find it whenever it was time for you to hear the messages. Keep in mind this is a general reading for the Aquarius collective. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Let's get right on into it, my dears, and see what's coming up. We do have the full moon in Cancer happening here, the 17th. And full moon energy, usually we'll feel it about 3 days before and 3 days after. Sometimes a week before and a week after, depending on how sensitive you are to moon energy and where your placements fall with that particular full moon. But we're going to see what cards are coming up here. First card for Aquarius. Ooh, we have the Four of Wands. I'm going to move this a little bit closer here. Now, I know a lot of people are used to watching tarot readings for love and romance. So therefore, Four of Wands has gotten typecast as like marriage. Like, I'm getting married, I'm going to be planning a wedding. And that can definitely be the case for some of you. If you're new to my channel, in the weekly forecasts, I like to focus on you. I want it to be about you, less about other people, and I do the love reading separate on my channel. So in the weekly forecasts, we're going to look at the cards outside of love. And yes, it is true that one, and I'm emphasizing one of the meanings of the Four of Wands is weddings. It can be any kind of a gathering. It can be security in your life, and it can be a sort of a homecoming. Okay, so there could be sometimes with Four of Wands planning on returning home or going home or visiting friends and family back home and kind of getting your life in perspective, and then all of a sudden realizing, hey, you know what? I've really come a far way. I've really come a long way. Maybe I haven't been giving myself credit for my accomplishments. It's like you're getting a bigger perspective of all that you've accomplished since you've been away. And the Four of Wands can have a lot to do, as I said, with security and stability. Four of Wands is having a nice, really secure foundation in your life. And it can be a card that comes up when we're finding ourselves having like a social circle or friends who are like family for us. I feel this is especially true for any Aquarius that maybe you've struggled with family issues. Maybe you don't have a family. You know, maybe some of you kind of grew up like in foster care and you don't know a whole lot about your biological family, or you grew up with your biological family, but it was an absolute disaster and you all aren't that close. But I feel there's something here with the Four of Wands for a lot of you Aquarius where there's a sense of feeling like you have family, right? Like this is the family of my choosing, or this is aligning with soul family. I'm feeling a sense of coming together. I'm feeling a sense of togetherness, a sense of support, a sense of understanding. Some of you may be taking a really big step where you kind of maybe, I feel some of you are feeling very silly about it. But once you do it, you're so glad you did it. And for some of you, this could be happening online. But I feel like some of you Aquarius are deciding to join some kind of a support group. And maybe before you kind of laughed about it, or you thought it was silly or stupid or whatever. And if you were thinking that, it was the negative ego telling you it was silly, telling you it was stupid, because the negative ego hates change, even when the change is positive, even when the change is good. So I feel some of you may be finding a community or a support group that you're just kind of checking out. And once you do, you're like, man, wow, I completely and totally feel at home here. These people get me. They understand me. And I thought this was stupid. I thought this was silly. But man, I wish I would have done this a lot sooner. Okay? Some of you might be checking out a 12-step program. Some of you might be going to like Al-Anon or something like that. And it could be some other kind of support group or some other kind of community. But I feel like once you're there, you're really feeling at home. And whatever it is, Aquarius, I'm feeling a sense of home with this Four of Wands. If you've moved and you've just been having a really hard time getting settled in, or you just haven't been happy with where you are, you may be finding yourself moving into a new space. And I feel there's this sense of like just finally getting settled in, like feeling at home. I'm feeling a sense of feeling at home. The next card that's coming up for Aquarius is the Wheel. And this is a major arcana card. Now, the major arcana cards are going to come up anytime we're coming into a significant new chapter in our life. Typically, the major arcana cards come up when the situation that we're dealing with, the stuff that we're going through, is directly connected with what we came here to experience, what we came here to master, what we came here to accomplish. So it's usually a pretty significant time in our life, or a time that is going to be memorable for us. Now, the Wheel is about movement, and the Wheel is about getting unstuck. Okay, getting unstuck. And so some of you may feel like some situation has been stagnant for a long time, and the Wheel is telling us now you feel that it's moving forward. Now you feel that that block is lifted and things are flowing and things are moving forward. Keep in mind, my dears, as I said, we're in the full moon energy still. And the full moon is a time that we naturally release. Even if you don't know how to release, like we hear, oh, full moon's an excellent time to release. First and foremost, you can release at any time. But the full moon is a very powerful time to release. And even if you don't know any kind of releases or meditations or spiritual procedures, we naturally release. We naturally release. Things come to the surface. That moon energy pulls at us the way that it pulls at the tides of the ocean. So a lot of you might be feeling like I'm getting a really interesting feeling around the Wheel. I'm feeling a sense of courage. And I'm feeling there's like the universe is beckoning you on. Like, come on, come on, come on, let's get going, let's move forward. You can leave the past behind you. And I feel there's a sense of like leaving the past behind you. And wow, this is like major, this is like deep. I just heard ancient grudges buried. Ancient grudges buried. Wow, those are powerful words. And because we had a sense of family, Aquarius, I feel this is in terms of family. Some of you may have a resentment or a grudge with a family member. Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a sibling. But a couple of powerful messages here. I'm getting a sense of like leaving the past in the past. This person is never going to change. This person may never apologize for their actions. This person might forever look at me like I'm the bad guy, even though they're downright terrible. And you know what? It's in the past. I gotta move on. I can't think about this anymore. I can't give this person any more of my energy or any more of my life. Like, I just need to leave it behind me. And I feel there's a sense of just like leaving it in the past. Like just letting it go. Not saying that it was okay, right? Because we're not saying that their behavior was okay or that it's not a big deal. But just like the sense of like, I don't want to be chained to this anymore. Almost like if you were wandering around and you were lost with somebody and you guys keep bickering and this person's negative and they're just arguing and they're criticizing you the whole time. And you just say, you know what? I'm done. You're on your own. I'm going my own way. And you just like take off and leave them there. Like symbolically, that's what I feel like is happening. You're just like, you know what? You're going to have to find your own way. I'm tired of this. Bye. And you're just disconnecting from it entirely. That's how I feel this Wheel energy. And the fact that I heard the words ancient grudges buried makes me feel like whatever is going on with this family member, this is like been going on for eons. Like this is This is a karmic relationship. Only instead of encountering the person romantically, you encountered this person in your family in this lifetime. And you're saying, we're done. No more. Anything that I can do to fix the situation, I've done it. Anything that I could do to try to get through to this person, or to take the higher ground, or to be patient, or to try to, admit ways that I could improve, whatever approach is possible. I've tried every angle and I'm done. There's nothing more that I can do for this person. There's nothing more that I can do for this situation. I'm done. I don't owe this person anything karmically. So I feel in this way, there's this massive karmic release happening and you're just putting it behind you. Like, I don't have time for you to get it together. I don't have time for you to apologize. I don't have time for you to figure it out. Behind me. Get behind me. We're done. That's the feeling I'm feeling here. So I feel like there's this sense of like liberation and moving forward. The wheel card also has a sense of cycles with it, coming into a new cycle. The next card coming up here for Aquarius is you. And it's confirming what I was just feeling, right? I don't know a better card to sum up what I was just feeling than the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords backstory is pretty sad. She's somebody who has suffered a lot of loss, right? A lot of, like, people say that she was orphaned and that she's divorced and that the King of Swords is not her husband but her brother. And so, or she's widowed, or like basically the Queen of Swords oftentimes stands for somebody who's had to do a lot of things on her own. So even if you aren't someone that has lost a lot of people to death or betrayal, you may just still have been somebody that you've had to do a lot of things on your own and you've had to get strong. But the thing about the Queen of Swords is she is not going to suffer fools. She's not going to suffer foolishness. She doesn't have the patience for it. She's like, I'm dealing with enough. I don't need people coming in, criticizing what I'm doing. I don't need people coming in and telling me I should be doing things a different way, or, coming in and drilling holes in my boat, so to speak. Either they need to make themselves useful or they need to be gone. And if they don't hear my words and leave, I will just cut them out of the equation. The Queen of Swords is a very powerful boundary card, setting boundaries. I don't have the time. I don't have the patience. Either you're with me or you're against me. And if you're against me, I don't have time to deal with you. I'm not going to battle with you. I'm not going to war with you. It's just like you just simply do not exist. I'm not allowing space for you into my life. Case closed. Discussion closed. Over. I'm not giving this time or energy, right? The Queen of Swords puts an end to it in that way because she's focused on what needs to be done and she doesn't have time for anything else. She doesn't have the patience for it. So I feel, Aquarius, that a lot of you are just getting into the energy of anything that's robbing you of your inner peace, anything that's robbing you of your happiness, you're done with it. Now, one more thing I want to say. As I said in the weekly forecasts, I don't focus on love and relationship, but Spirit is nudging me to share this. Some of you have been in a romantic relationship with someone that you have immediately recognized as like, this person is kind of triggering you. They're saying things or they're doing things that are making you feel a certain kind of way or bring up old wounds that you didn't realize were still there. And you've been dealing with it very maturely. You've been like, you know what? I'm not going to get mad about this. I'm going to take this as an opportunity to better myself. And I'm going to take this as an opportunity to heal what's here. Your approach is beautiful and your approach is commendable. But you're also getting to the point where you're realizing, I don't have to do this. This doesn't feel good. I'm aware that maybe there's some things that need to be healed that are coming to the surface, but I don't enjoy spending time with this person. And I don't have to learn these lessons or see these wounds in like a painful way. I don't need to do it this way. So a lot of you maybe were allowing this person into your life or into your space because you were seeing it as an opportunity to see what needs to be healed. And you're like, no, I can uncover this on my own without this aggravation, without this pain, without feeling bad about myself, or without reliving the wounds. And so a lot of you are going to be cutting this person off, or cutting this person, kicking them to the curb, so to speak, where you're like, I can do this on my own without this painful aggravation. And so I feel some of you may be putting an end to this kind of a relationship, or this kind of person that you've been dealing with. The next card that's coming up for Aquarius is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay? And the Knight of Pentacles is like slow and steady wins the race. You guys are taking big steps and big leaps forward in terms of stability, security, and happiness. But I do feel that some of you feel very overwhelmed because you're like, this is a lot. Like I have a big idea in my mind. I have a big vision. I have this big dream. And it's beginning to be very clear to me that this is something that I'm meant to, create on my own. Like I'm creating this empire. But I'm creating this empire without a business partner or without an investor. I'm doing this on my own. Or I'm going to be, making these big steps and taking these big moves. And it's something that I'm doing it on my own to get out of my circle and to align with soul family, or to create the sense of family. Some of you know that you want to feel this, but there's these steps that you're taking so that you can get here, so that you can get to the sense of supportive people, or people that are going to feel like family to you. Or you have people against you as you're aligning with family, friends who are family. And you're like, wow, this is really hard, right? Like this is something I'm going to have to face on my own. These people, these family cannot step in and speak for you behind closed doors. Those of you who are dealing with toxic people, toxic family, toxic situations. And you're like, I have to speak for myself. I have to disconnect from this myself. And that can feel kind of overwhelming. Whatever it is, whether it's disconnecting and coming into a new life, whether it's accomplishing these, these dreams and these aspirations, the Knight of Pentacles is telling you it's going to happen one step at a time, one day at a time. All you need to do is be consistent, one foot in front of the other. And as long as you're doing that, you're going to succeed. There's no need to race against the clock. All you need to do is be consistent and you will succeed. Some of you are picking up something that you tried in the past and you abandoned it. And now you're returning to it again. And Spirit is saying, as long as you don't give up, as long as you don't let the distractions come in and pull you away from this, as long as you stay consistent this time, you will succeed. You will have that stability. You will have that security. You will feel that sense of belonging and that sense of support. But you cannot give up on yourself. You cannot give up on yourself right now, Aquarius. Just one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, and before you know it, you're crossing the finish line. And even though the Knight of Pentacles is not the fastest moving knight in the tarot, he is the most reliable. He is the most dependable. You don't have to worry about double checking his work. What he does is solid. So what you are creating for yourself and what you are building for yourself is going to be solid. Okay? You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks are going to resonate for you more than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you if you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite. Love readings for January are linked in the description. February love readings will be posted soon. 2022 12-month forecasts are also linked in the description if you want to check those out. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and wishing you all a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Again, happy birthday, Aquarius. Those of you who have a birthday this week, take care and be well.